Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
This is my top 5 things that are funny when they happen to someone else. The topic comes from episode 245 of All Fantasy Everything, an amazing podcast that I highly recommend everybody go subscribe to right now. And you maybe listen to that episode before you listen to mine, because that is, it's a different format, but a similar thing. They choose 5 things that are funny when they happen to somebody else. I enjoyed the topic, and I wanted to do my own top 5, which I do sometimes on this show, which is it's a fun topic because it's a very unique thing. Because it's usually bad things that happen. But, as long as it's not you that they're happening to, it's funny. So let's get into it, shall we? Starting off with my number 5 thing that is funny when it's not happening to me, but happening to somebody else. And that thing is when you're on the freeway and you're driving and it's already a ton of traffic, whatever, and you see just the biggest asshole flying down, weaving in and out of traffic, in and out. Seeing that person get pulled over. Like, you see them fly by, almost causing 20 accidents as they're flying down the freeway. And then, as you're driving normal speed, maybe 5 minutes later, you see pulled over to the side, you see a cop giving that person a ticket. Now, that's a rare thing. Usually those people tend to not be caught in a lot of situations. And I'm not a big fan of the police in general, so the fact that they're involved in this scenario is a bummer, and that's why it's at number 5. But as somebody that's driving along and having to deal with people that have no concern for the other cars around them, to see that person get their comeuppance, perfectly fine. Although I'm sure the reality of the situation is like the cop goes over and doesn't give him a ticket because like they bro out on something. Like it's Joe Rogan in the car and they're like, "Oh, I love your podcast, man." Yeah, so that's my number 5. When a speeding car, somebody driving like a lunatic on the freeway gets pulled over by the police. Hilarious. I laugh an angry, spiteful laugh as I drive by, inching my way in traffic, wishing on some level that I had that level of just not caring at all. Anyway, moving on to number 4. My number 4 thing that I find funny when it happens to somebody that is not me, and that thing is the moment you see it in their face. You're in a conversation with somebody, or you're watching a show, podcast. This specific thing has happened multiple times on the show, All Fantasy Everything, with Sean Jordan. And that moment is when you see in somebody's face their realization that they've been living a lie. And what I mean by that can mean a lot of different things. Just like it's a phrase. Let's say it's a phrase like similar to Sean Jordan. It's throwing caution to the wind. Yeah. Like just the throwing caution to the wind. Caution thrown to the wind. Just like some saying that you've always said wrong, or maybe a lyric from a song that you've always sang wrong, or using a word that you thought meant one thing but means another thing. Or, you're somebody who's super right wing, but you don't realize that most of your values are held by, liberals. There's that moment. And Joey Tribbiani on Friends, his shtick in the whole show was his ability to show you in his face that moment of stepping into reality and realizing that he had been living a lie. It's just that moment of recognition when you see it on somebody's face, like you see them realize that they've been saying this sentence, this statement wrong for their entire life, is hilarious. As a person who is having that realization, not so, it's earth-shattering sometimes. I mean, obviously, if you have a good sense of humor about it, you don't have a big ego about it, you let it roll off your sleeve, you know? You just it's not a big deal. But some people it's a big deal. And some people just deny that they even had their reality shattered. They're like, "Whoop, gotta stuff my head back in the sand on that one." But yeah, that moment when somebody realizes they've been living a lie is my number 4 pick. And for anybody that's wondering what that means, just think of Joey from Friends. Every time he has that, if I could do it, if I was an actor, I would do it. But I can't. I'm not. I don't know. I didn't practice. I don't know. But watch it. You'll know. You'll see it. That's the moment. It's a fun moment because it's all communicated in the face. Anyway, number 3. My number 3 thing that I think is funny when it happens to somebody else, not when it happens to me. Not that this has happened to me, but I've seen it. Number 3 is an aggro bro dude being knocked out by a calm guy who's trying to chill the situation out. And the aggro bro dude just wouldn't stop. And as a viewer, you see it coming. Like, this is not going to end well for loud bro dude. And then it doesn't. The best. It's the best. It's not as funny necessarily as it is just a huge justification. Like justice was finally served. Like, there is some justice in that. Like, there's a recent one where they're in like a 7-Eleven, some convenience store, and there's a white trash dude at the register, buying an energy drink or whatever, and just saying hateful, racist shit to the black dude that's in line behind him, and telling the black, like, the dude's like horrible racist stuff, taunting him, asking him to hit him. The black dude, calm. You could tell the adrenaline is going because he had like an Arizona iced tea in his hand that he was like flipping in his hand, and the adrenaline was going because he missed it. Went to go pick it up. Racist guy tried to kick it. Black dude picks it up and smashes it in his face. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. Instant justice. Instant karma. Instantaneous karma. I mean, like, aggro bro dudes are annoying in general. I love poking at aggro bro dudes, like just getting them angry and being just calm, because that adds to their anger, because they want you to get angry and aggro. They want you on their level of stupidity, and when you don't, they don't like it. They don't like anybody that's not jumping off the cliff with them. Either you're a lemming, like you think you're a lemming, or you think you're a sheep. I don't know. These people are insane. They call other people sheep, and it's like, literally, a lot of them are Christians. They literally are the flock of Jesus. Sheep. Their identity is sheep, and they're angry at other people for supposedly being sheep. It's as they virtue signal to their other stupid people. Yeah, so watching an aggro bro dude just get knocked out is the best. It is the best. I used to watch fight videos all the time on Reddit. Like, I would wake up. It was back when I, over early 30s, let's say. I'd wake up on my tablet, pull up Reddit. I'd go through all the top videos on Reddit, so there'd be some inspiration, there'd be some comedy. There's always fight videos, fight compilation videos. Some of them are pretty brutal, but you see a lot of times, you see the aggro bro dude get his comeuppance, and it is amazing. So that is why it's my number 3. I've seen it happen. Like, I used to I love antagonizing these people, man. At a bar, I used to play a lot of pool, kind of like we would play like pickup basketball. You throw your quarters on the table. You win the game of pool, you stay playing on that pool table until somebody knocks you off. And there was like this guy, like, it was a bar that I went to all of the time. bartender knew my name and everybody else's name. Like it was our spot. I worked right down the street, lived right down the street. It was a spot I went to all the time. And this dude, he probably shows up now and then or whatever, but he's not a regular. And he's just an asshole, like loud, singing. He was like in a band or whatever. So any song that would come up on the jukebox, he would just belt out like he's the best singer ever, just like attention whore, but not like annoying. Like he's not like talented. It's not like somebody people wanted to see. He just liked being annoying. And there was a time we were playing 2-on-2, me and a buddy of mine, and then him and his buddy, and I missed a shot. I missed a shot, but I laid it well, right? Like I missed the shot, but the cue ball landed in a spot that made it hard for him to do the shot. And he's trying to like compliment me like I planned it. I knew I didn't plan it, but he's trying to like do this kind of like fake praise thing that like bullies like to do. I don't know. There's always like this game of like them. They want to be your friend, but that they want to be like they want to manipulate situations. I don't like to be manipulated, and I see it a mile away. So I'm not taking his compliment. And he gets angry. He gets angrier and angrier that I'm not taking his compliment. And to the point where he threw down. Like I'm surrounded in this bar by probably 30 people that I work with. And he's got a friend. So at no point, and the bartender, like everybody there, like I'm amongst family, and he doesn't understand what's happening. He doesn't even know that he is like in a lion's den talking shit about lions. So anyway, he throws his pool cue down like he's going to start some shit. And from out of nowhere, Cookie, the bartender, shout out to Cookie at the Hearth House in La Mesa, California. Out of nowhere, comes through, pins the dude up under his neck, forearm under his neck, up against the wall, and kicked him out. I don't think we ever saw him. I don't remember seeing him. I don't know how much I was, my attendance at that bar kind of, fluctuated over time. But yeah, that was the high. That was the peak. The time I was there a lot at that bar, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Like at no point, it's kind of weird when you see like potentially aggressive people, or at least trying to be. Like a lot of the time they're fake. They're like loud dogs. Their bark is a lot louder than their bite. I've yet to see any of them actually do anything. There was a party that I was at recently, like a holiday party. I don't know, before the pandemic. So now it's been a couple years, probably close to. And there was a dude there who was just trying to be an asshole, being an asshole to other people, talking shit to other people at the party. And then he started spewing like old school white supremacist talking points. And I'm sitting there. I know I'm surrounded. I know nothing's going to happen. Nobody there's are fighters. I'm not like afraid of anybody at this party. They're all nerds. This guy's a nerd too, but he's trying to act big. And he's physically not a big guy either, but he's spouting all this hate stuff, like just hateful shit. And I'm talking shit to him the entire time. Nothing happened. He got angry and like ran. I love trolling idiots. So anyway, aggro dude getting knocked out by a calm dude is hilarious. So my number 2. I'm sorry, that was a long one. My number 3. There was a lot of things. My number 2 thing that is funny when it happens to somebody that's not me. It's a classic. That's why it's my number 2. It's a classic. It's got to be there. And no, it's not the thing in my background. It's not slipping on ice. Spoilers. My number 2 is the classic somebody walking, not paying attention, and colliding with something that's not moving. That could be somebody reading. That could be somebody getting distracted, like looking at a hot chick, or a chick looking at a hot dude, or, a hot dude looking at another hot dude, or a hot chick looking at a. There's a lot of different sexual spectrum things that would cause one human to stare at another human, or a phone, or a book, many things that could distract you. And in that moment of distraction, you run into the side of a building, a stop sign, a fire hydrant, a small child. You fall into a hole. You fall over a cliff. And there's just many things, many scenarios that can encompass the classic thing that's funny to see is somebody not paying attention and then running into or colliding with something that they didn't see coming. So good and so funny. So funny. It's never something that you want. It's never something that you want to happen. For sure, it's happened to me. Not a lot, but it happens. I get distracted. It's usually not my phone. It's usually I'm looking at something else. Usually, or doing something else. Like my attention is not focused on the path that I am traveling. And I will collide with things that are not good. Another version of that is running into a sliding glass door. That's fun, too, because you are paying attention. You just literally don't see it coming. And in both situations, it's not seeing the thing coming, which makes it so funny. So that's my number 2, not looking where you're going, not paying attention, and colliding with something. My number 2, funniest thing, in my opinion, when it happens to somebody else. Not me, somebody else. Last but not least, my number 1 thing that is funny when it happens to someone else, inspired by episode 245 of All Fantasy Everything, hosted by Ian Carmel. Sean Jordan, David Borey, guest, rotates every episode. Love the show. Subscribe. My number 1 is when somebody who's overconfident makes a bet and loses. I have specific examples of when this has happened to not me, but sports betting in general. There's that aggro kind of nature, aggro bro dude. It's the closest I've gotten to knocking somebody out who is an aggro dude. One example was I'd go to a sports bar to watch UFC fights back in my San Diego days. And one of the fight cards was in Germany. And for whatever reason, the American broadcast was delayed. So going to watch the delayed broadcast at this sports bar of this UFC card, I already knew the outcome of, I don't know, the whole card. Definitely one specific fight, a fight that I was looking forward to. I want to say it was like Rich Franklin versus like Vanderlei Silva, maybe. It was like a matchup like that. And I already knew that Rich Franklin won, or whoever it was that I thought was going to win. The one that I bet. Like, there's this dude covered in tattoos. Scrawny white dude, but covered in tattoos, like face tattoos, neck tattoos, all the tattoos. Like his identity is being a sketchbook, a page in a sketchbook. Aggro, drunk, sitting at the table next to me, talking all kinds of shit. Asked me to bet, right? Because I think maybe he asked who I thought was going to win. I already knew who was going to win, and it was the person I would have wanted to win. So he bet me. I was like, yeah, I'll bet you. Thankfully, he didn't realize that it was a delayed broadcast. I think he bought like a pitcher of beer. I don't remember. It wasn't a big bet. But he was an idiot. Felt good to win. My other moment where somebody's super overconfident, playing pool, back to that bar, the Hearth House. I used to go there and play pool all the time. Loved it. And I went by myself. I'd go all the time by myself. It was fun. It's something to do. Play some pool. drank some Jack and Cokes, super cheap, super strong Jack and Cokes. Get out of here. Of course I'm going to go. So I went, and there's this guy playing some pool with his girlfriend. There's tables open. They had 3 tables at the time. I'm at one of the tables. They're at another table. And then he looks over. He's like, hey, you want to play? We'll play for drinks. How about that? And I'm like, sure. I don't even know if I had played yet. I think I just showed up. Maybe I was, hit a rack. Maybe went through a rack. Just not really doing anything, just kind of warming up. And he didn't know. This kid doesn't know. But he must have seen Color of Money or The Hustler. Like, he thought he was getting... Like, I could tell by the look in his face that he thought he was going to destroy me. In front of his girlfriend, by the way. Like, that was the sugar on... The cherry on top for him is that, oh, check this out. I'm going to bet this guy, and I'm going to show my girlfriend that I'm better at pool than this guy, and I'm gonna trick him. I think we played just for fun, like once or whatever. And then after we played for fun for once, he's like, oh, let's play for drinks. Destroyed him. I don't know if I ran the table, but like I turned it up a notch. If I'm going to be playing for competition, if I'm competing for something, I'm going to win. I'm going to want to win. I'm going to do what I can to win. And I was playing pool all of the time back then. I was good. There was a reason that other dude was angry, is because I'm so good. At least I was back then. So this unsuspecting victim challenges me to, bet drinks, which is fine. I'll drink for free. The funniest part, right, is not only seeing him lose, seeing the confidence. It's similar to that moment where they've been living a lie. Like, there's that moment in his face where he realizes that he's not as good at pool as he thought he was. Not only is he not as good at pool as he thought he was, but he found out he was humbled in front of his attractive girlfriend. But for me, the cherry on top was the moment that he went to his girlfriend after losing and had her flirt with a guy at the bar to get a free drink to give me, because the idiot didn't have any money. So not only did his overconfident bet go the way of a turd in the toilet, flushed down to oblivion, no hope of victory, not only was that defeat in front of his girlfriend, which he was 100% trying to impress, but he had his girlfriend go flirt with some random dude at the bar to get a free drink because they didn't have the money. Thankfully, I didn't get roofied. That would have been probably on his list would have been seeing a guy accidentally get roofied at the bar or roofie himself. But yeah, overconfident dude like that. I was on such a high after that. And I think we played one more time, and I won again, and his girlfriend went, and then she convinced him to bounce, that he was losing. Like, he wanted to, let's run this back. And I beat him again, and the girlfriend had to go get a drink again. The only thing that would have made that story better is if I went home with his girlfriend. But nah, I didn't do that. I had a few free Jack and Cokes, and won some pool. I don't even think... I think it may have been... They used to have free pool on Sundays, so I think it may have been one of those kind of days. But either way, a highlight for me. A highlight. It was one of my greatest moments, and I miss playing pool. I enjoy it. So here's my top 5 things that are funny when they happen to somebody else. Number 5 is when a speeding car gets pulled over on the freeway. Number 4 is the moment somebody realizes that they've been living a lie, the Joey Tribbiani moment. Number 3 is when an aggro bro dude gets knocked out by a calm, innocent bystander that's just trying to de-escalate the situation. My number 2 is not paying attention, somebody not paying attention and running into, colliding with something. The classic number 2. And the number 1 is personal because it's just one of those memories that I cherish. It's my number 1 is when an overconfident dude loses a bet. Makes a bet that they shouldn't be making, like betting on a sporting event that is already happened. Yes, I will take that bet. Or just somebody that doesn't understand that you're badass at shooting pool. Those are my top 5. Let me know what your top 5 favorite things are that are funny when they happen to somebody else. Let me know what they are in the comments. And hit me up on Twitter if you want to tell me there at Ray Taylor. But either way, that is it. Have a great week, everybody. Get yourself some amazing coffee over at stationhousecoffee.com and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. That's your place for small batch, single origin, premium coffee brewed in Thetford Center, Vermont, shipped directly to you. Go now to stationhousecoffee.com and order yourself some amazing coffee. And don't forget to follow Station House Coffee. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!